I hate the way that I love it so much. I liked the fact that they made a film interestingly work by sound rather than action. Hey guys, and welcome back to Fortune Theory. Here we are again for another main topic episode. If you're new to the channel, I'm Oliver, and this is Patrick.
How you doing?
Yeah, so if you're wondering what this is to start with, just a little icebreaker. Basically, I've collected the Marvel Lego CMF series that came out, very popular as of the beginning of September, and had some spares because I bought one too many. And I just thought to convert my own like sort of Captain Britain / Captain America zombie monster. So I've created like just this hybrid of just two Captain America zombie legs with a head in the middle, and then Agent Carter's at the top, like slowly converting into one. Just like this mega zombie monster, which I thought could rest nicely on my mic, just to avoid, there'll be some slight interference, suspect. But yeah, like, so if you're just wondering why that randomly is there, but yeah,
product placement at its finest.
Product placement at its finest. This video is sponsored by Lego and Marvel. Get some.
You wish.
Yeah.
Not again. Not again.
So,
oh god.
Yeah. So this video, we're going to be talking about The Guilty, which is a brand new film that's just come out on Netflix, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, who you may know from loads of other things, probably most notably at the moment, popularity-wise, Spider-Man. But he was also in, I can't remember the name of it.
A lot of good shit. Yeah.
A lot of good shit. Yeah. What was the film he was in? It's one of my favorite ones that he was in.
The trivia.
What was it called? It had Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Ruffalo in it as well. They were following this murderer, but it turned out to be Jake Gyllenhaal anyway. Or something. It turned out to be one of them anyway. What was that called? It had one word in the title. What the fuck is it called? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh,
what was that film called?
What was that called?
It's so like well known. What the hell is it called?
Hold on. I've got the Guilty trivia up here. I'm just gonna go to Jake Gyllenhaal. Where are we? Where are you, bastard?
Right. It's one word. I think it begins with G. It's probably not even beginning with G, is it?
Was he in Oh no, okay, it's a remake.
No, he was not in.
Is a new
Rio.
Film. Oh my god, why can't I remember it? Not
You know what I'm talking about, though, don't you? It's like there's this thing about like a murderer who like just takes someone for a lift or something, and like they're in the police station trying to figure out what it is. Kind of a bit like what this is, but Jake Gyllenhaal's not really the bad guy. Well, not of the cases that he deals with in the story.
We're probably getting screamed at right now. I apologize because I cannot think of the film.
Well, if you know what it is, good for you. That's what I'll say.
But there's so much. Everest, South Braxton to Love, Nightcrawler, Enemy, Prisoners, End of Watch, The Shoes, Time to Dance, Source Code, Love and Other Drugs, Prince of Persia, Jamie Foxx, Feet, Pain and Blame It, Brothers, The Lonely Island, Rendition, Zodiac, Amazing, Jarhead.
So that's it, Zodiac. That's it, Zodiac.
Is that what you're on about?
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I
was thinking about a completely different thing. Zodiac.
Zodiac. That was what it doesn't even begin with G.
It's one of his best films, yeah.
Yeah, Zodiac. That's the one I was thinking of. So sorry, guys. We got there.
I most notably know him. Annoyingly, I think the first time I ever watched him, I can remember of, is what's it called? The Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite horror film. Not horror
film,
Apocalypse. That's my favorite Apocalypse film. The day after tomorrow.
Jesus Christ.
Day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow.
The After Tomorrow is a completely different film.
Yeah.
The day after. I knew what you meant when you said it though. The Day After Tomorrow. Yeah. He's like a university student in that, isn't he? And he's trying to get with this girl. And
that then Jarhead, Zodiac, Source Code. I think the Source Code I watch next. End of Watch is really good. Prisoners is insane.
Anyway,
Enemy,
we could go through his career as much as we could go through his career as much as we go through any actor's career. He's a good one. And I think in this role he's perfect. In this role of Joe, what was his last name again? Bolt.
Oh,
I can't remember. Can't remember his last name now.
It's been too many hours since I've watched it.
Yeah, same. Boiler. Begins with B, doesn't it? I think I remember.
Baylor,
that's it. Yeah. Fucking police cop called Baylor. Brilliant. Just works, doesn't it?
But yeah, I mean, I loved it personally.
I watched it and I instantly thought, okay, Patrick's getting me to watch this for our review. Looks really good. By the way, the oh my god wasn't me, but the baby's named after me though. So that was great.
Brilliant.
And that's not the whole reason the oh my god was about. So spoiler territory. From this point onwards, if you haven't watched the movie yet, go watch it. It's only about an hour and a half long. It's on Netflix.
90 minutes.
About 90 odd minutes. Yeah, so does it follow a true story? Because it kind of feels very like true, but
I think it might be loosely based on, unless it said it in the opening credits.
well, it's a remake. It's a remake of a film that came out once before, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got the trivia up here for it. Remake of a Danish movie called the exact same. They called The Guilty in 2018. Yeah, so a remake of a Danish film, which is the second Danish film that Gyllenhaal has starred in a remake of. So, being Brothers.
Wait, Brothers was a remake of a Danish film that Gyllenhaal's also starred in.
Yeah.
What, Gyllenhaal starred in the remake, not the Danish film?
Yeah, he starred in the in the remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got my adaptation and remake mixed up there. Yeah, he said 2 Danish remakes he's been part of.
Yeah.
So this one was in.
You keep saying Danishes. Now I'm just building
Danish.
up an I want an apricot. I want an apricot and custard Danish now. So anyone who's at home watching that, yeah.
I mean,
if Todd's watching this, let's get raspberry Swiss rolls together next time.
But when we started talking about this earlier, I felt like during our chat we had almost mixed opinions based on like mainly the filmmaking aspect of it.
I hate the way that I love it so much because it's so like it's so low budget, which I'm guessing is why obviously the original concept was made as a Danish film. Because they're very like niche, aren't they? They're very like.
That's not to say we're budgetist of like.
No. I'm just saying like they don't really like they.
Well, they won't have the budget of a blockbuster.
Danish films films are known to do like low budget stuff, like just in their nature. But yeah, like I liked the fact that they made a film interestingly work by sound rather than action.
Well, this is what like I found amazing about it. Yeah, is the fact that.
And I thought to myself, anyone could make this.
Exactly.
You know, who's passionate about films, because they don't talk too much. They don't show you too much of what's going on. Like, I think the only real big visual that you'd have to worry about is the big forest fire at the end, like the edge of the city on the mountain, or
which
whatever.
they didn't even have to show that, but they choose to get like some CG shots of like that. There's a couple of shots.
I love the shot. I love the shot at the beginning of the helicopter that went past, and even the sound as well. Like the sound felt like 3D, 4D. When I was watching it, I thought this is going to be amazing, and then it just cuts to Jake Gyllenhaal in an office for about an hour and a half, and it was just like, for fuck's sake.
It was a thing that is a challenge, especially like the fact that 99% of the film is in one location, like literally is just like
it makes it automatically 10 times easier.
2 minutes in the hallway, 40 minutes in the other room, and it's just like literally,
and then like 5 minutes in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Including the opening like shot, the opening main shot after the exposition shot.
So literally one major location, and
so there's the like what I like to call the Chekhov's gun shot, which is like the forest fire on the edge of the hill, and that's to establish that yes, there's problems going on. All this stuff's gonna, like, all these phone calls, all these people worried, scared, in fear. There's helicopters coming. There's a big forest fire, so there's a big city incident. Everyone's worried. Everyone's panicking. Everyone's scared. Sets up something that happens in a minute, because in and amongst all that, there's random bits of chaos. So we got to jump to these guys to now sort it out. So then cuts to this guy who's like clearly who's Jake Gyllenhaal's playing, who's Joe Baylor. Still can't take that last name seriously. He's in the bathroom. He's basically like in it. The thing is like a lot of it reminded me of what we did, because a couple of years ago we made a film which is on Prime, and we've seen that a couple of people have bought it. So we want to thank you for those people. We know whilst it was it was free on Prime for a time, but now you have to pay for it. It's called Employee 91, but it's employee ##0091, because Pat decided he wanted to make it technical, because he was technically like co-director with our other friend who's joined the army. And yeah, We did it for a university. To go to the specifics, we did it for a uni project for him. It was about a guy who was dealing with like, you know, severe like stress, anxiety, and just problems and stutter. And he was basically in a call room as well. But it wasn't like police call room. It was just like an average business.
A 911 like.
It wasn't
line.
the pressure of a 911 call. He just had mental health issues and was just getting stressed at things, and he couldn't afford his like living costs, and he lived alone. And he was getting issues with his landlord's son and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's 20 minutes long. Like, I'd say go check out if you're interested in that sort of concept. But if you're not, then I wouldn't say it's for you. But yeah, if you want to see other stuff that we've done that's either better or worse than these podcasts, then go check. By all means, go check it out. So, how much is it on Prime?
I don't even think it's worth the money you got to pay for it.
Well,
at this rate, honestly,
watch the trailer, and that'll probably tell you how the film's going to be, because the trailer is about quarter of the film anyway.
If you want to
the trailer's
see it,
like, yeah,
then I will genuinely put a Google Drive share link for people to watch it. At this rate,
there's like in the trailer, there's about a random mixed up, because there's 3 trailers, isn't there? There's the TV spot that you made.
There are
there's
somewhere. I don't even know if they all
trailer
exist still.
and the official trailer.
It could
One
have
of them
been
will be
such
on
a better
Prime.
film, and we were going to be working on a better short version of it, but that's why we're going to be working on a feature.
We're working
now.
on a new feature film now called Richard, which is loosely based off the original concept we had for the story, but we're changing things around to just be more explained and work and basically come across as more interesting. And we're basing it off one of our personalities as well. So we've in terms of where it comes to the dire parts of that character. So.
Well, my personal opinion at the moment is I'd rather watch paint dry than watch a 2-hour version of this short we've got at the moment. So it needs to be massively developed. But that's like
So we're working our asses off to get the script right and just to get the casting right, because we're putting ourselves out there more than just doing it as a quick uni film. But yeah, like a lot of it kind of just Jake Gyllenhaal really reminded me of myself when I was playing that character of what was his name? Did he have a name? In Employee 91. What was his name? Wilson, wasn't it? Was it Wilson?
Wilson, was it? Let me have a look.
Yeah. You don't even remember our own stuff. Well, then to be fair, I don't.
No. It was... where are we? Employee 91 short. It was Wilson. It was, yeah. A young adult office clock watcher, pressured by bills, struggling to find himself. Does he quit or suffer further? There you go. Rent from $249. I will share. I'll just share a drive link. Genuinely comment.
$249 just for a laugh to see something, but at least watch the full 20 minutes on a trailer before you even decide to buy it. But yeah, like completely up to you. But yeah, like it just a lot of this film reminded me of that, and I feel like people are going to look at that and think, oh, you just copied the Danish version, or like, oh, you just copied like that. But even though this came out afterwards, I remember I said to you earlier, like, yeah.
They purposely directly copied the remake, but I mean, for us anyway, it's just our story in itself. Not that it relates to this in any means, but it's just.
Well, hurry up the point, because I think people are more interested in us talking about the actual film than like our stuff.
Well, certain character traits, I guess, like you said, mental health wise.
Jake Gyllenhaal's like going through severe mental health, and we find out why, because he explains when he's doing all the calls, like at first he comes across as a bit of a jackass, like towards people. He's like, he just doesn't really give a shit about his job. Like, and you find out like he was originally like, you know, in the field, like, you know, on, you know, out like patrolling streets doing like his officer job then, and basically like he's been, due to an incident that he has to go to court for the following day after the events of the present, he's got to go to a courtroom session because he murdered a 19-year-old because he wanted to punish him for something he'd done.
Although actually, sorry to stop you, like I don't actually think he's got mental health. I think
he does, because I think he's.
I mean, obviously,
like,
it's not.
Everyone's got mental health, but like, he's got
any mental health problems, because, like, obviously he's got the stress of family life that is like compounding throughout the film.
Yeah, because his his ex-wife doesn't really want much to do with him, and like is kind of excluding him from like their daughter But then he's not really making the best effort to try and make amends of that, because he's only doing it out of his own way when he's got a moment. And that usually tends to be in unsociable time, because as we saw in the film, if you've watched it yet, hopefully you have if you're watching this video, he called them at 2 a.m.
I
and
love
obviously the mother was like,
exposition for that as well. It's not like, because how do you show that like he is currently the way he is?
I think like the
Like,
reason he's stressed is
9
because
p.m. or 2 a.m. and it's 2 a.m. Like it's
well. 2 a.m. He's going through some real like trauma with his job, and he's just trying to sort of like deal with his own, he's learning from this specific call, that investigation that he's doing, basically to just sort his own like shit out, basically. And he's on call with this woman who's like using code to pretend that she's talking to her daughter Abby, while she's like been abducted by her ex-boyfriend. But and he's had like previous felonies, like, and has been charged with like assault stuff in the past, so like he's already on their radar. He's trying to get all the calls and the, you know, the cop cars and people actually out there in the field, like on patrol, like to just go over to like people's houses to look after the kids that are alone, and look and find the white van where she's been abducted in, and they're all busy because of the big fire on the hill and, you know, all the shit and the chaos that's going on. So like he's getting really like frustrated about all that, and then like he's got the big court case in the morning, and it's like 2 a.m. so he's still at work, and it's just all like
all compounding problems.
It's all compounding and just destroying him. And he eventually just sort of decides he's going to go in the other room because he just needs to be on his own. He can't be surrounded by so much of it all happening whilst he's dealing with so much of it in the same sense in his own. So yeah, going to another room. Plus it helps because like it makes it less boring in the sense of he's just in that one room, I suppose, for like for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But
and
just
then
in that one room, because like goes
like,
to the toilet, goes to this new room, gets a drink, sits back down, goes into the hallway, goes into another room, jumps kind of between that room and the hallway, and then eventually finishes the job, ends up in the ends up in the hospital, not the hospital, the toilet, and froze up vile, and then decides that he and his lawyer are just gonna, who he's been on the phone with, who you don't really knows the lawyer straight away. I think like the idea is that you just sort of like figure that out quite quickly, when the whole idea is like he's drinking and you need him for the case tomorrow. And he's talking to this woman who's been abducted, and he's getting to know her, and then like you get a sense that they're kind of like falling in love with each other, because like he's calming her by talking to her about herself, and he's getting to learn what she's like and how she is, and like he's like saving her life or helping her to do so, and being a bit open with her about his own self to kind of distract her from her own problem, and is being really helpful and supportive. And then she's like telling him all about herself, like to just keep calm and whatnot. And then they sort of start falling for each other a little bit, but then like it's weird because you find out the roles are reversed, and you find out that the Henry Fisher, who's the name of her ex-boyfriend, who's like you think's abducted her, he has abducted her, but he's not done it to kill her or any issues like that. He's done it because he's trying to take her back to this asylum, because it turns out she's insane. I think that's what I got from it anyway. Because it turns out she's the one who's insane.
As soon as she mentions that, like, you know,
the snakes in the stomach or something.
And the stomach, he's like, you know, he's free now, and it's like that moment. I was like, oh, it's one of these, you bitch. Like, okay,
yeah,
like, she's the
she's the psycho. He's the innocent. He's the innocent one in this case. So like, but obviously he didn't help how he had like felonies behind him as well for things. Cases of assault. What was it? Was it cases of assault? Past assault.
Yeah, he'd had some. I think a case of assault and just some like minor crimes.
Yeah.
Which, and his like untidy apartment as well over the phone. It being like, that's why it's perfect as well. Literally just with audio, we got like basic descriptions. I mean, obviously you can describe somewhere with audio,
because like, a lot of it you feel like it felt a bit like filler and irrelevant, but then you kind of realize everything's got a purpose in the story, because even his conversation with Jess,
we're just being described. We're getting everything described to us, and we're witnessing it, you know, with Joe. So it's It's like
I mean, there was a
bit
few
of
shots where
information.
they find the van and they go to that, but like
Yeah.
even that feels a bit faded and it's like in and
Yeah.
out. It's like
You
between
didn't
that and
even
how
need
Joe's
that
picturing it.
necessarily. Like
No,
all of the shots outside the room, you don't necessarily need. We could have just cut straight
I
to them.
think it
Didn't have
did
the
get to a
entire
point
time.
where it would have been a bit. It did get to a point where it would have been a bit too boring if we didn't see at least some sort of form of like interaction or
True.
between other characters and locations. But it was just their way, I think.
But the fact
Like, I
that
feel
it
like we
like
could make this.
it
I feel like
kept
we could
going.
make this in our own way. But yeah,
This
they
is
kept.
yeah for people that are born. If you're a born storyteller, like take this as inspiration. One room, you can make a story, whether it's 10 minutes or 2 hours. This is proof that you can make something captivating.
Out of anything.
Like just give yourself a challenge. Try to do like a 10-minute one room or one location story.
Like it's definitely broadened my horizon. Without any puns intended to our previous work
puns.
of previous puns. For any of you who've seen our previous content, I'm not going to specify, but you'll know what I mean. Like, but it's definitely broadened my horizons in terms of like what we can do in terms of storytelling and how we can do it and where we can do it and what we can present.
Yeah,
like you just gotta like use your imagination and kind of like not only as a storyteller but as the characters and as the audience watching it as well, like to just sort of incorporate the location as anything you want, because most stories, especially once they end up having sequels, require location change for purposes of just expanding the world and the characters and everything. Whereas like in a franchise like Harry Potter, for instance, they're just always at Hogwarts. But the way they make that work is that they show you different areas of Hogwarts is such a big place. They show you different areas of it.
Didn't take long to get the Harry Potter reference in, did it?
Yeah, I know. No. Well, no, it's just an example I was used, like, because most of the film is like pretty much set at Hogwarts, but because it's such a big one location, there's so much you can do there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just like
it should be.
That's where the story takes up. But yeah, like in this case,
an inspiration for just anyone to like. If you're looking at making some sort of massive action epic, like I've got ideas for stuff that could work in like 1-2 locations. But you also have like the massive globe-trotting action adventure film. Like, if you've only got 500 quid for a little short film, you can't exactly go around the world shooting action scenes. It's something to aim for one day, but prove yourself with something like a one-room story challenge, and prove yourself to the world that you can tell a story.
Yeah, don't use it as an opportunity to be lazy and not think, oh, well, I can't be asked to go to this location to do this, so I'll just do it from here, and that'll be good enough as it is. So I don't really need to do that. Do it. Like, if you got the chance and the opportunity and the tools and the mindset to go out and actually like do something, do it. Don't just think, oh, I can limit myself to this one location. You don't have to, But if the story requires that,
filmmaking is all about technically like magic of like the illusion of just visual, like video and audio. Like, I think a lot of people, and I kind of, I'm still like this in a way. I used to be massively like this for like trying to tell a story through video. Is like, how do I like? You're sometimes thinking too much in the literal reality of like, I want to film this, I want to film that. So where do I go now? Because I don't want it to look like that. Well, think about your imagination of how you want it to play out. Like there's so many like techniques you can use to like, for instance, there's your visual one. If you're wanting to show, I don't want to be too much in depth of filmmaking, but like, there's a technique where like if you only want to use one side of a room, for instance, or you don't want to have to spend so much time changing around the setup, you film one angle, and then you get the other actor for what would be the other like 180-degree reverse angle, but you just literally switch it around so you're sticking to the same angle in it. It's a filmmaking technique. I think it's the French reverse. I might be wrong with that. I think it's a French reverse. Look it up.
I feel like this channel is just going to eventually become motivational speaking for people who do filmmaking. Just do it!
Do it. Use the Nike brand and do it. But anyway, The Guilty, to stick on topic. So I go over some trivia. Anyway, so did you know...
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. You said, oh my God.
Ollie wasn't in this.
Was not in this. No, I felt like they might have used like when you first showed me that trailer and we first spoke about it a few podcasts ago. I did think, have they like cut that from a Fortune Theory video or like something else? Because that would have been made like probably, that would have been at least filmed or shot, or maybe not written, but filmed or shot after we would have started the channel. So, there's nothing to say they couldn't have included it. But yeah.
Well, it was shot in 11 days during the October 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, we're still in it, but 11 days.
Oh, sorry, when?
It was shot last October.
October.
It was shot during October last year in 11 days, which is actually quite a lot given how much, because that's just shooting time.
Surely it would have come out before that then. Why did it take them long to edit it? COVID. They have to do reshoots or anything? Oh, COVID, I suppose.
Well, don't forget, like, it's not just like a bunch of lads editing.
Or is it just they wanted to, or is it just that because they wanted it to come out a year after production or something?
I don't know, but don't forget, like, it's not just people at home editing. Like, people from different households have to go to a studio to edit it. So, like, restrictions of that. But even so, yeah, a year, like 6 months to a year, is quite a while to like get it. Obviously, it's the remake of the Danish film with the same name from 2018. It is the second...
Is it Guilty or The Guilty?
The Guilty, yeah.
The Guilty.
Antoine Fuqua, and Jake Gyllenhaal's
What?
What?
Anton Fuck Squad, what?
Antoine Fuqua and Jake Gyllenhaal's second collaboration since
Is he from Shrek?
I knew you'd say this. The moment I said Fuqua, and the moment I read it, I knew you'd say something like that. I just realised this has a big cast actually for a film, like, considering it's all voiceovers.
Who's the what was his name? Mandy, the guy who sat next to him, who was always like looking at him whilst he was like talking to people on the phone, and he was like, "Oh, mind your own fucking business."
He's called Manny. Adrian Martinez.
Manny.
Yeah,
I recognise him. He's been in stuff.
We've got Peter Sarsgaard, who was Henry Fisher. Riley.
There was another name. There was another name I recognised from the cast. What was that?
Who else is in it? Loads of people. Ethan Hawke, Christina Vidal.
I've heard of Ethan Hawke, but
who else have we got?
It was a lady, I think.
Davine Joy Randolph, Christiana Montoya, David Castaneda, I believe.
Castaneda,
I believe. Paul Dano is in this. Eddie Patterson, Gillian.
It had a rose. There was a rose or something in the name or something, I think. What was it? Or Rosaro? Something Rosaro?
In the actual, like, character's name or cast?
Cast,
yeah, I can't find... let's have a look at all cast. A rose... Oh, yeah, Bill Burr's a nightclub caller in this. That is hilarious. It's hilarious.
Hey, what up, man?
Yeah, brilliant.
Love that. Holy shit, what are you doing calling the service?
But yeah, it is really good. Link below to watch it on Netflix. It's funny. What was the official certification? Oh yeah, what certification is it? It is. Or in Germany, that doesn't fucking help, does it? Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke's fourth collaboration with Antoine Fuqua after Training Day, Brooklyn's Finest, and The Magnificent Seven. And what?
Sorry, it's just that last name.
Antoine Fuqua.
Anton. It sounds like when you say it, it sounds like you're saying fuckwad. Anton Fuqua. I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. I'm sorry.
Before we meme it, check out The Guilty on Netflix. Came out today in the UK. Check it out if it's available in your country. You're most likely watching this in the US or the UK anyway. So link below. Yeah, go watch it. Latest Jake Gyllenhaal film. Watch all of Jake Gyllenhaal's films. 90% of them are really good. And we'll see you for The Infinite, I think, came out on Prime as well. Today or recently, so we might be watching that because for some reason it came out in the States like 4 months ago, and we've only just been able to like get it. So we'll probably talk about that on Friday, maybe, if there's not anything out. Yeah. Oh, actually, I want to talk about No Time to Die for like 30 seconds. Because, like...
Okay.
Well, no, here's the thing. Okay.
That was the best chase scene ever.
That was the best chase scene ever.
Silence for 10 seconds.
Well, here's my thing. When I came out of it, I was... When I came out of seeing it, in my head, it was one of the best Bond films I've ever seen, purely because I was still like quite wowed by the spectacle, because visually it was one of my favorite Bond films. Thinking about it now, I still like it. I still think it's a good Bond film. Spoiler territory, because we ruined it yesterday, so go watch it, link below. The fact that Bond dies at the end now, it will be a bit odd to reboot a Bond film with Bond coming back. Obviously, I hope that happens.
It feels disrespectful to Daniel Craig, but then he didn't really he was like debating coming back or not in between like Skyfall and Spectre. And then he came back for this one knowing it was his last one. So,
I mean,
yeah,
feisty 20 million he needed for this one to come back, because like it was... Spectre was going to be his final one for all. But anyway, this isn't a Bond, but like this isn't the Bond review, but I was very ecstatic, but also like adrenaline rush and tired yesterday. So I still like it. I don't like it as much as I did coming out of it, but yeah, definitely go watch it because it is worth it. Although I just spoiled it and we spoiled it yesterday. It's worth the watch. It's obviously got some reviews and about it being sort of like a bit of a woke Bond film, which is understandable, but everyone's got their own opinions on it, so there we go. But The Guilty, link below, go watch it, Jake Gyllenhaal's latest film, and we'll see you next week. The last episode of What If.
Yes.
Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Marvel's What If.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
CMF.
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Toodles.